Hi, I'm Katie. One of the most frequent questions that I get from people who are brave enough to ask is, when you're changing your diet so much, what happens to your poop? Since I'm doing this series documenting how things are going for us, personally, I will say that, again, detoxing is going to be different for everybody. I came into this a vegetarian. I was specifically a pescatarian when I started this, and that means that I was pretty much the most liberal vegetarian out there. I was eating dairy, eggs, fish, and things like that. Knowing what I know now, I probably will not be going back to that lifestyle. And my husband was not a vegetarian at all going into this. He was eating more healthy, I would say, just because I was the one making most of the meals. But he was still eating lots of meat and cheese and gluten, etc. like that. So detox for him has been understandably going on a little bit longer and has been a little bit more difficult for him. Though he's a trooper, he's hardly complaining at all. I had to say, hey, are you alright? Because he's one of those people who doesn't like to talk about poop. Now, this is not a topic I'm squeamish about because I'm a mom. I changed diapers. I was a vet tech for over 15 years and there was a lot of poo. I've also looked at probably well over 1,000 stool samples under the microscope, which means I've been handling things, yes, with gloves, quite a lot. So yeah, this topic is no problem for me, but for many people it is kind of, do we really talk about that? If this is a weird topic for you, maybe this is not the video for you, but if it is something that you're interested in, let's dive right in. Let's not dive into poo. Alright, so here's what's going to happen. When you change your diet, things will change internally, and hopefully all for the good. That's what we want. We want the benefits of it. If you detox, that usually manifests itself in the intestinal area, but can manifest itself in other ways as well. So let me explain. Our intestines and colons are designed to eliminate toxic waste from our bodies. That's what they're there for. And if they're doing their job properly, we will be free of toxins and live very healthy, vibrant lives. When they cannot do their job, then toxins build up. And how this happens is, first of all, if that is our main area to eliminate toxins, what happens when it doesn't work well? Well, when we ingest too much of a toxin overload, giving our bodies foods that are not designed for humans to consume, we call them junk foods for a reason. They have no nutritional benefit to us, only detriment. But if we keep consuming those in enough quantity, our body systems cannot work the way they're supposed to. But there are safeguards. Thankfully, we are designed with amazing safeguards. The first thing that our body does is, think of like an oyster. An oyster only makes a pearl if a little particle of sand goes in there and irritates the oyster. And the oyster secretes a substance that coats the piece of sand, making it smoother and smoother and smoother until it's something that doesn't hurt so much. So our intestines work very similarly. If there is something in our intestines that it cannot push out, it tries to protect the rest of the body from that toxin. And what it does is it lays down a layer of mucus. Now, this is good in the short term. It protects us. It's not good in the long term because now you have something still in your intestinal tract that is not supposed to be there, that has been coated over with this mucus protection layer, and now it's in the way. And those toxins can't stay there forever. How are we going to get them out? What typically happens is, while we're eating, we are completely unaware of what's going on inside, for the most part. 80% 90% of his patients, people who think that they have no constipation, that they have no problems whatsoever, and he finds significant parts of their colon have been compromised and diseased. Soon, you're gonna run out of space. So what happens when you run out of space? You can't wall it off anymore. Your body might experience some signs of constipation every now and then. We should be going, if we are eating 1 to 3 times a day, we should be going to the bathroom 1 to 3 times a day. It's different for everybody. But if you're eating every day, you should be going to the bathroom at least once a day. And if you're not, you are probably constipated. And if you are, and you're not eating a good diet, you are probably constipated and don't even know it yet. Side note, interesting fact, diarrhea can be a severe form of constipation. When there's so much blockage, all that can get through sometimes is liquid. This is true for a lot of people who have diarrhea for unexplained reasons. They don't know why, it just suddenly keeps happening to them every now and then. That is definitely something to talk to your doctor about if it is a concern of yours. And after years and years of abuse to our body and our body trying to hide it away when it can't flush it out, where are those toxins going to go once there's no more real estate to hide them in? There's no more dumpster space. They go to other organs of the body, sadly enough. And you might see signs of this before then, because even though trash is in a dumpster and not all over the floor and in the streets, you can still smell it. And that's the same way it is in our intestines. That's why you see a lot of people with adult acne. They continue to put trash into their systems. There's only so much storage space, and the body is going, can we please get rid of this stuff? And little bits of it are wafting out, are blowing out, if you can imagine trash blowing out of the overflowing dumpster's lid, and manifesting itself in other areas. Our skin is our largest organ in our body, and it's one that is designed to excrete toxins out of it. So that's another line of escape our body will try, which is why a lot of people with skin issues, it could be too much toxins in the body, and the body cannot eliminate it properly, the right way, so it's coming out other ways. Our colons are where disease starts for everybody. If you've got too many toxins, you're going to get disease because your body is going to break down. It can only struggle so long hiding an issue before it goes. We saw this a lot of times in the veterinary field. Pets would come in who looked perfectly fine, and boom, all of a sudden they had this disease crop up. They had kidney disease, they had diabetes, or something else popped up out of nowhere, it seemed like. And it was just the body saying, I cannot do it anymore. You're gonna have to clean up this mess, or it's just gonna flow on to everything. So that's a little bit of the scoop on poop. Now, what would I recommend? Yes, you can find all over the place that a raw food vegan diet can reverse a lot of diseases simply because it cleans out the intestines and the colon. It is basically scrubbing them out and flushing them out. Drinking copious amounts of water will also help with this a great deal. Detoxing is great. Whatever way you decide to do it, it's good for you. It doesn't feel good depending on the severity of your detox, and your symptoms of your detox can happen many different ways. So think about cleaning house. If you decide you're going to completely clean out a room that has built up clutter over years, and you start moving furniture and vacuuming and dusting, what first happens? It's a chaotic mess. There's dust flying everywhere. You're finding spider webs and stuff, and you're filling up bags of trash. But why do you do it? Because you know in the end you're going to have a beautiful, clean room to enjoy. And it's not going to be cluttered. You're going to have space to breathe and really live the life that you wanted in that room. So the process of decluttering is then worth it. Some people have flu-like symptoms. Some people have reactions that manifest itself in their skin when they're detoxing. Most of us will have digestive issues, bloating, rumbly in the tummy. Depending on how severe that is, it will subside sooner or later. It doesn't start subsiding within a few weeks to a few months, then see your doctor about it. It could be something else going on that you may be unaware of. One thing that I think is very important to bring up is a product called Herblax. Don't let the name fool you. It fooled me for many, many years. I thought this was just used as a laxative, and I thought that's for old people, right? It is not. The label is deceiving. They had to label it this because of one of the ingredients, and FDA said you got to label it this way. It's important to look further than the label and find out what this really is, and I'm glad I finally had somebody encourage me to do that. Herblax is a colon conditioner. It pulls out toxins and smooths everything back down to where it's supposed to be. It's the fact that it pulls out toxins for me and can even remove that hard to remove mucus lining without scraping it off, that made me really, really happy. I tell you from experience, most pregnant women deal with constipation. I had a little bit of trouble with my first pregnancy. Second pregnancy, I had this. No trouble at all. Everything was perfectly fine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the ingredients in here are herbs. Herbs are very powerful, and it's important to know what each one does. And it's also important to start off on something like this with help, with professional help. If you would like the information on the peer-reviewed medical journals published on this topic, you can contact Shackley specifically. And as always, please comment below or contact me directly if you would like information from me or if you would like to know where to get this item. Which is why you can't just go to the store and buy this off the shelf. You do have to contact somebody and purchase it through them. And if they cannot give you the proper coaching throughout the process, there will be somebody that they know who has coached them, who they will put you in contact with, because you want somebody who knows their stuff, who has good medical knowledge. You can also do this with the help of your doctor. I'm not going to say this may not be for everybody, because Dr. Forrest Shackley, who invented the multivitamin, who started the #1 nutritional company in the US, was asked, of all the many, many wonderful supplements that you have helped create, especially the multivitamin that we now enjoy today, if you were deserted on a desert island and could have only one thing, what would it be? And he picked this because he knew that every single day, if you're not pulling toxins back out of your body, because we're breathing them, we're drinking them, we're eating them, we are getting toxic buildup every day, no matter how clean we try to be. If you're not able to remove them at the end of the day, they're just going to build up and disease will happen so much faster. And who wants that? So this was his product of choice, even above a multivitamin. I thought that was pretty cool, and that is what hit me personally, that I needed to look into this further, and I'm glad that I did. If you would like to know more about Herblax, I have put the direct link below so you can see more about that. It is definitely worth the time it takes to learn. It is a sensitive topic, and unless you've been in the health industry and you're passionate about helping others, we usually don't bring it up in regular conversation. So don't worry, if you have questions for me, it's not TMI, I will share with you what I know and my experience. I have no problem hearing or talking about poo. Except for my 4-year-old. There are some times when we should not talk about it. Please do check out the links below my videos. I put information there that I have found that is helpful to me. Videos that have great information inside of them that you can glean as well.